Hello everyone and welcome to the video zero of the video series known as Learn Rust with me, Gyan. So what is this video series all about? This video series will contain tutorials on the Rust programming language. I'll be following a very famous book known as the Rust programming language, and I'll definitely put the link below in the description box. So why this video series and why now? I was particularly interested in learning Rust in the year 2020, primarily because of its emergence in popularity due to various technologies like blockchain. Being a blockchain enthusiast, I'm always interested in exploring new languages, new programming frameworks, and whatnot. In this video series, in the various videos that I'll be shooting, I'll be sharing my experience of how I learned Rust, as well as programming code samples, and teach the different concepts that are a part of Rust. So without further ado, let's get started. What is Rust? As I already mentioned, Rust is a system programming language developed by a Mozilla employee, Graydon Ward, in 2006. Though it was developed early on, that is, you can already see 2006, it became much popular post 2016. It was rated as one of the best programming languages in between the years 2016 and 2018. So why do we need to learn Rust, and what is this Rust all about, right? Rust is actually a programming language that supports the imperative paradigm. That is, it supports procedural programming. But the interesting thing about Rust is, though it is primarily built on procedural programming, it also allows few elements of functional programming. A mix of these two is what makes it interesting for developers across the globe. The developer of Rust describes this language as a safe, concurrent, and practical language. So let's see why Rust. Of course, Rust is open source and free. This means that community contributions in Rust are valued extremely high. So if you're interested and you're comfortable with the language, you can definitely contribute to the source code. One of the other important qualities of Rust is that it offers memory safety without the usage of garbage collector. So what is memory safety? Memory safety is being safe in your program when it comes to memory access from vulnerabilities and some software bugs, right? There could be several memory issues in your program with respect to memory access or with respect to memory leaks. Rust ensures that this programming language is built in such a way that you are able to solve most of your issues related to memory access and memory leaks. As we learn about the different components of Rust, we'll see how this is accomplished in this programming language. So let's straight away move to the next step, that is installation. I have already installed Rust compiler on my laptop, so I'm not going to show you how the end-to-end installation works. But as you can see here, there is a Rust website where you can go and click on the install. And based on the operating system that you have, it is fairly easy to just install Rust, right? One of the things that I would like to mention here is that Rust installation and the Rust compiler itself is managed by the Rust Up tool. So Rust Up manages the various builds that will keep getting released in Rust, right? If you have already installed Rust Up in the past, then you can update your installation by doing Rust Up update. Of course, if you're more interested, you can definitely look up the Rust Up documentation. One of the next important things that is commonly used in the Rust space is cargo. So what is cargo? Cargo is your package manager for Rust, right? If you think about cargo, similar to your other languages like Java, which use developer tools like Maven or Gradle to build and manage the different Java dependencies, Cargo is a tool that comes along, that is packaged along with Rust, which manages all the various dependencies to ensure that you always get a repeatable build. To accomplish this, Cargo does four things. One is it introduces two metadata files known as cargo.toml, as well as another file that I'll be showing you with various bits of the package information. It also fetches and builds your package's dependencies. It invokes Rust C, which is your Rust compiler, or another build tool with the correct parameters to build your package. It also introduces conventions to make working with Rust packages easier. If you are interested to know more about Rust, you can definitely click on your either the installation page or the Rust programming language book, which we'll be following, right? And learn more about Cargo itself. So without further ado, let's actually go to the programming part, right? I'm sure by now many of you are interested in understanding how to program in Rust. So let's start our first hello world in Rust. And I'll be using the Cargo package manager to create a new project, a Rust project, as well as run it. So as I'm a terminal geek, I prefer to do all of my things on the terminal, but I also have opened my Visual Studio Code editor for you to ensure that you're able to see what's going on, right? So I'm in a folder called Rust. I already have the Rust compiler and Cargo installed on my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say cargo new and create a new project called hello world, right? So you can see that it says that it has created a binary. Now let's see what happened, right? As you can see, a folder called hello world is created. Let's go inside the hello world folder and explore this folder. As already mentioned, there is a file that is created by default by Cargo, which has some package information. Let's explore this file. So this file is titled cargo.toml, T-O-M-L, right? You can see that here the package will talk about the different external packages that we have imported. Right now we have not imported anything, so it's not of much interest to us. You can see the name of the project as Hello World, the version, the author, that is me, and the edition, the Rust edition, right? The more dependencies that we have, it will come over here. All the dependencies that we have for a project will be reflected in the toml file. You can also see that there's a source folder that was created. Let's get inside the source folder and see what it contains. As you can see, Cargo has already created another file for us called main.rs. This is our main Rust code. This will contain our main Rust code. As you can see, the extension for any Rust programming file is .rs. Let's explore the main.rs and see what is present inside. As you can see, the main.rs has a function called main, which is printing a hello world. So this is how you write your first ever hello world. It is fn that indicates your function name, that is going to be main right now. Open close braces, we are not passing any arguments. And then we open and close curly braces. Inside that, if you're familiar with C or C++, you know that println is used for printing. But there is another interesting additional character over here, that is the exclamation mark. So we have println exclamation mark, open and close brackets, hello world. Let me close this. And now I have two ways to run this. So first is I can either build this file, that is the hello world, because it is getting built for the first time. It takes some time. And then you can see that, let me go out. You'll be able to see that there's a cargo.locked and a target folder that is created. Let's explore the target folder. This target folder contains a debug folder. This debug folder is the one that will contain your binary, right? So if you see, you can see that there are different types of files that exist. There are example files, there's hello world, there is hello world.d. We'll not go deep into this right now. Let's just try and run the hello world, right? So this is our binary file, like an executable that gets created on your Windows environment. Here's our binary file that is created, hello world. And when we run the binary file using /, we'll see that hello world is being printed. Now, this we did using cargo build. There is another way to directly run, right? So let me say, when I say cargo run, it will not just compile, but it will also compile and run. So as you can see, finish the target building, and then it runs the target debug hello world, the binary that we just ran manually. And here it prints hello world, right? So of course we have production and we have test environment. So we can either build it using release, or we can just build and run it as it is for our testing purposes, right? So by now we have learned how to write our first ever hello world, not write, but how to run our first ever hello world in Rust. And I'm sure that this has captured your intrigue to learn more about Rust, sorry. And as we go, we will definitely work through the different things like the common programming concepts, what is ownership, what are references, how do we use structs, what are enums, and what is pattern matching, and all the other given topics that are present in this book, right? I cannot ensure that each video will cover one entire topic, but we'll play it by the ear and go as it comes, right? So I hope all of you had fun doing this Hello World tutorial with me, and I hope you're able to interested to get started in Rust. And if you did like this video, I would request you to subscribe to my channel, as there are going to be more and more videos on this entire Rust journey. And I hope you're able to comment any other observations that you come across or anything interesting about Rust in the description box. So I leave you with this one thought that I think all of us are at a time where the technology is evolving rapidly. And the more we are at the brink of learning new things, or the more we are interested in learning new things, the better it is going to be for us. So thank you once again for joining me on this day zero of the Rust journey, and hoping to see you further as well.